Hey everyone, and welcome to my Slayer efficiency overview video. So in this video I'm going to cover a wide variety of topics related to Slayer and give you guys all of the miscellaneous information that you should know that isn't covered in my other task by task guides. So I'm going to split up this video into 3 sections, which are before you start Slayer, when you start / during Slayer, and other miscellaneous info and tips. You can use the annotation links on screen right now to skip to each section. Before you start Slayer, there are a lot of things that you want to get done if your goal is to get 99 efficiently. Slayer definitely should not be a skill you go for early in your maxing career. Before you start Slayer, I would recommend getting your melee stats to at least 80 plus and probably even to 85 plus through Nightmare Zone. If you intend to go for 200 mil Slayer, get your melees to 99 before you even start slaying at all. This is because higher melee levels mean faster experience rates, and you'll get more Slayer XP than melee XP on average, so you'll have to train your melees a fair amount without Slayer anyways to get them to 99 or 200 mil. You should get a quest cape before starting Slayer, since this is a requirement for Lumbridge Elite Diaries, which unlock a 5th block slot. Doing a quest cape will also get you Barrow's Gloves in the process, which are definitely essential for doing 99 Slayer. You should do the Mauritania Hard Diary before starting Slayer for the Bone Crusher, and as soon as you get 80 Slayer you should do the Mauritania Elite Diary to get the upgraded Bone Crusher. This is nice for getting the extra prayer XP. It's basically just a free 500k to a mil prayer XP from doing 99 Slayer, so you should definitely get these done if you want to be maxing efficiently. At 93 Slayer, you should do the Western Provinces Elite Diary so that you will get 15 points per Neve task instead of 12, and the Falador Elite Diary is also helpful though not necessary for the daily prayer restores. Some of the biggest mistakes people make with Slayer is doing Slayer when they have no money or doing it to make money. If you want to do Slayer efficiently, it is a skill that ends up losing money, but the time you save by doing it efficiently could then be spent killing Zulrah or runecrafting and making far more money than you would have made by slaying for profit. I would recommend doing 99 runecrafting before you get 99 Slayer. In order to have a max Slayer gear setup, it will cost around 150 mil. Cannonballs will cost around 120 mil for 99 Slayer, and potions and other miscellaneous stuff will cost somewhere around 25 mil. You can expect to get back 80 to 100 mil in loot, and you can expect your gear to roughly retain its value. So if you get 99 Slayer in 650 hours and average 20k per hour, which is assuming you're slaying for profit and getting pretty slow XP, then let's say you profit something like 300 mil. That's just kind of a rough estimate. I don't know exactly how much you'd profit, but 300 mil seems like a pretty reasonable value. So it takes you 650 hours. Let's say you get 99 Slayer efficiently. You can do it in about 325 hours if you do 99 Slayer quite efficiently, and you lose somewhere around 50 mil for 99. So you save yourself 325 hours, since that's half the time that it would take if you were doing it at 20k per hour. And in that 325 hours, you could be killing Zulrah for well over 700 mil profit, or you could be runecrafting for well over 500 mil profit. So unless your Slayer is making you somewhere around 700 mil, 700 mil, it's really not efficient to do it as a means of profit. It's better to just do it for the 99 and do other things for making money. When you start Slayer, one of the most important pieces of information to know, and one of the most frequently asked questions, is what tasks should I do, skip, and block. Up on screen now are the full list for Neve, who is currently the best Slayer master to use for XP rates. Feel free to pause the video and look more closely. The block list is the 5 most commonly assigned Neve tasks that you'd want to skip, and the skip list is every task that you can't cannon. The only non-cannonable task that you should do is Abyssal Demons, since they drop the Abyssal Whip. It's important to know what to buy with your Slayer points and in what order you should buy them in, so the very first thing that you should prioritize is buying the ability to craft your own Slayer rings. So you should also get 75 crafting before you do 99 Slayer. Slayer rings, I would say, are essential. You use them to teleport back to Neve after each task to get a new assignment. You can also use them to teleport to a number of different locations that are useful even outside of Slayer, so definitely buy those first. I'll definitely say those are more important than the Slayer Helm even, but you should do Slayer Helm second, because it does have some benefits for certain tasks. Keep your Black Mask and just use that, because the only difference is that the Slayer Helm allows you to use Black Mask effects on certain tasks that you otherwise wouldn't be able to, namely just for Dust Devils and Smoke Devils as far as I can think of right now. So buy both of those first, and then after that you should buy 4 task upgrades. You should start with the Black Demon one, and then get the Greater Demon, Abyssal Demon, and Suka upgrades, and that just makes it so those tasks will be longer. And all of those are tasks that you should do, so it's better to have longer tasks because it means, less time banking. You should not buy any of the other task upgrades, since all of the other ones are tasks you're going to be skipping. And also you shouldn't unlock the ability to get Mythal Dragons and Aviancies as tasks if you're going for efficient Slayer. The next thing is OSBuddy, which is really useful for Slayer, and I would highly recommend that you even get Pro. The Item Finder and Cannon Overlay have a huge impact on Slayer, and there are a couple of other overlays that also have nice effects. I have my item overlay set so that it will only show drops that I want to pick up, and this made it a lot easier while doing Slayer so I didn't have to click through all the drops. I do this by having a very long list of items that I don't want it to show, and I'll have that linked in the description for you guys if you want to just copy paste it into your own item overlay. and I'll also have my highlight list linked in the description as well. The cannon overlay is another pro feature which shows how many cannonballs are left in your cannon above the actual cannon, which is really helpful because otherwise you kind of just have to wait until your cannon runs out of cannonballs, or just keep using cannonballs on it whenever it seems like it's low. So being able to see exactly when your cannon is going to run out just makes it so you can be a little bit more efficient with Slayer. The last thing is the current boosts overlay, which shows what your current stat boosts are up in the top left corner of your screen, and it also shows when your stats are going to drain. So if you know when your stats are going to drain, then you know when you should pot, since you should pot as soon as your stats drain. As they do drain once per minute, you should pot as soon as they drain down so you can get a full minute out of each dose of potion. Next thing you should do is make sure that you have all the gear that you need. So the total cost for getting a maxed out Slayer gear setup is somewhere around 150 mil, as I said earlier, and this includes both a melee and a ranged setup for blowpiping certain tasks. So the melee setup is going to look like this: black mask that you need to buy to turn into a Slayer helm. You want to have a Fury. You can use a proselyte top or a Varrock skirt, or you can use bandos. You want to use D boots, Barrow's gloves, a whip. You want to have a berserker ring and a warrior ring, both of those imbued depending on the task. Dragon defender, a fire cape, stardom and godsword, and you do want to pick up a Firminic round shield for when you do a troll's task. Your range setup is going to be a blowpipe, armadillo top and legs, ranger boots, archer ring imbue, Ava's device, an amulet of fury, your Barrow's gloves, and your Slayer helm imbued. And the last thing is, of course, do your research on each task before you do the task. So watch my guides or find a video showing you how to do the task properly, so that you actually know what you're doing when you're doing the task. Another side note is that you can train your fletching while doing Slayer. If you fletch bolts or darts between combat ticks, you can actually do 99 fletching while you're doing 99 Slayer, so that's just a little fun thing you can do. Figured I should let you guys know that, so if you want to do fletching while Slayer, you can actually do that. So the last section is just miscellaneous info and miscellaneous tips. So the first little bit of information that a lot of people ask is how many cannonballs do you use for 99 Slayer. So the general average is about 40 to 50k cannonballs for every 1 mil Slayer XP. So you can expect to use about 540 to 650k cannonballs for 99 Slayer. You also use somewhere around 3 to 5,000 prayer potions and 1 to 2,000 supersets for 99 Slayer. So that's about what you can expect as far as supplies costs. Another important thing to know is when to use your Berserker and Warrior Ring, and when to use a Tentacle Whip, a regular whip, or an SGS. So Berserker Ring versus Warrior Ring, the Berserker Ring has plus 8 strength bonus, and the Warrior Ring has plus 8 slash bonus. So there are two tasks that you should use the Warrior Ring on, and those are Dagonoths and Smoke Devils. And the reason for this is because both of these tasks, your cannon is doing a lot more damage than your player is, and having higher accuracy actually makes your cannon have higher accuracy, because your cannon's accuracy is based off of your highest accuracy stat. So in this case, your highest accuracy stat is slash, so it's based on your slash bonus. So for these two tasks, your cannon is hitting a ton of monsters at once, and it's better to have a Warrior Ring, since your cannon is doing more damage and higher accuracy is more important. I would never really recommend using a Tentacle Whip, because its cost is never really worth its benefit. So you should just use a regular whip, though for Smoke Devils you actually should use an SGS all of the time, and the reason for this is just because of the massive increase in slash bonus on the SGS also increases your XP per hour, and I have personally tested it to be about 5k XP per hour faster on that task with an SGS than with a whip, which is a pretty significant difference. Next up are cannon mechanics, and I would say it's really important for you to understand how exactly the cannon works. However, I do have a video for each Slayer task that you should do showing an exact cannon placement and how to lure them properly, but I figure for this video I do want to show you guys how exactly the cannon works to determine double hit spots and stuff like that. But one thing I quickly want to interject before I start that is the fact that you can actually use your cannonballs on the cannon and save a tick over just clicking on the cannon to reload your cannon. I think at least every single day that I streamed Slayer while I was doing 99, I had somebody tell me, you know, you can just click on the cannon instead of having to use cannonballs on it to restock it. And that is true. However, if you use cannonballs on the cannon, then you can do it without interrupting your combat at all. So say I'm getting attacked by a monster, I click my cannonballs on the cannon, then I can click back on the monster before I would be able to do another attack anyways. And you can restock your cannon without interrupting your combat at all. So that is one thing. Hopefully that clears the air for some of you guys that were wondering why I always do that, but there is an actual reason for that. And next up is just how double hit spots are determined. So for those who don't know, the cannon can shoot 2 cannonballs on one spot on one monster in one rotation, and it only works if the monster is in certain locations relative to the cannon. So the spot I'm standing in right now is a double hit spot relative to the cannon. So it's 1 square south and 2 squares west of the cannon. And I'll show just like a chart with like all the double hit spots, but I want to show you guys in game first. So from the center of cannon, 1 square south and 2 squares west is a double hit spot. 3 squares west is also a double hit spot. Likewise, if you stand right here and go 1 square south right here, this is also a double hit spot. So 2 squares south and 1 square west, and 3 squares south and 1 square west is also a double hit spot. And these two little like offshoots right here are all double hit spots as long as there aren't any obstacles in the way or other monsters in the way. And it's the same relative to the cannon in all of these locations. So if I go 2 over right here, then this line right here is double hits, and it gets interrupted by the wall right here. But this right here is also a double hit, and if you go 2 up here, this is a double hit, this is double hit, etc. So I'm going to show you guys on screen right now just a easier visual representation of how you can actually get double hits. So you can see right here, with each square represents a map tile, and the center gray square right there represents the center of your cannon. Every single orange spot is a double hit spot right there, so you can use that to determine where you should lure monsters for double hits. Basically, it forms a nice pattern if you look at it this way, and it is really easy to understand once you can see exactly how it works. So this may seem simple for 1 square monsters, but you have to keep in mind the fact that some monsters occupy more than 1 square. So you'll notice that this Suka right here, and along with most of the other tasks you actually kill in Slayer assignments, it takes up 4 squares right here. And there are many monsters that are about this size, and there are lots of different sizes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill the Suka real quick, and the important thing to note is where its drops land, which is really where it's centered, because every monster is only centered on 1 square. It's just that they occupy more than 1 square for aesthetic purposes, obviously. So when I kill this thing, it always drops its loot on the southwestern corner of the squares that it occupies. And that is true of every single monster in RuneScape larger than 1 square. It'll always drop its items on the southwestern square that it occupies. So you can use this to determine what cannon placements you're going to use for monsters that occupy more than 1 square. Just always lure them so that the southwest corner of the monster is in one of the double hit spots, and you will get double hits, and that's how I determined, or I and other people determined, most of the cannon placements that involve monsters with multiple squares that they occupy. The last thing I want to quickly mention is banking and getting new assignments. In my Slayer guides, you'll see me banking at Clan Wars and using NPC contacts to get new tasks. Upon further thought, I think that teleporting to Neve with the Slayer ring and getting a task directly from her is actually better. It also means that you can get rune pouch to store runes drops from monsters. This obviously isn't a big difference, but it's worth noting. The reason I would always bank at Clan Wars is because you can use the portal to recharge your prayer and hit points. One other option is to use the Desert Amulet 4 if you have it to bank in Narda. You can use the altar there, which recharges your prayer and boosts your hit points a bit over their maximum. The advantage of this is that it won't cause your stat boost to reset like the Clan Wars portal does, but the disadvantage is that the Narda bank is further from the teleport location than the Clan Wars bank is, and also the Desert Elite Diary is one of the more annoying diaries to complete, requiring a Calphite Queen head. I think I would still recommend using Clan Wars, but the Desert Amulet is definitely another good option. So that is about all I have for you today, guys. I hope this video helps you out to train your Slayer more efficiently and reach your goals. If you have any further questions and comments, be sure to leave them in the comment section below, and check the description for lots of different links and additional info. Be sure to drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like it, and I'm going to leave you guys with links to each one of my individual task guides as the outro to this video. Good luck, guys, and happy slaying!